Hello friends, how are you? You all like to travel, don't you? Let's go for a trip. Where do you like to go? To some big cities, beaches, museums, amusement parks, river banks, some forest areas, or any other place? There are a number of beautiful places in Kerala. Can you say some of the major tourist spots in Kerala? I'll show you some pictures. You should tell me which place it is. Okay, now watch the photographs. Can you identify this picture? Okay, it's Ponmudi, right? Now, what about this one? Yeah, it's in Wayanadu. It's Kuruva Island. Now, this one? Of course, it is Kovalam. You will identify this picture, I am sure. Which one is this? Yeah, it's Munnar. You are right. See, many such beautiful places are there in Kerala. Well, you might have visited places outside Kerala also. Maybe as part of your school tour program or sometimes with your family members. Which are those places? Oh, Ooty. Okay, then Bangalore, right? Then Kodaikanal. Okay. Tekadi. Right. Okay. Children, you have read the story The Champ in class 6. In that story, the family went for a picnic. Do you remember? Where was that? Yes, on the banks of River Yamuna, a beautiful secluded space on the banks of River Yamuna at the foothills of Shivalik. Don't you remember? The blue water of the river was crystal clear. The weather was pleasant and a cool breeze was blowing. Right? See, we were talking about tourist places. There are a number of tourist spots in India. How many places do you know? Can you write? I will give you half a minute. Okay? Ready? Take your notebooks and pen. Okay, start writing. All right, stop writing. How many places did you write? 10? 8? Or even less? Okay, no problem. Now, check the places you have written. There are many places having natural beauty. Hill stations, river banks, valleys, wildlife sanctuaries, and so on. Well, why do we go to such places? What are the merits of going over there? Can you say?
Let's hear what our friends say.
We get happiness.
We get fresh air. No pollution. We feel calm.
How do you think? Do you have the same idea? Or do you have any other opinions?
Yes, you are right. We feel happiness. Only happiness? Any other merits? Yeah, the sight of nature makes us happy. It relaxes our mind and body. We get cool, fresh air. No noises and rush of the cities. No pollution. There is not much dust and smoke. Have you ever gone to such places? Some of you may be living in such areas and you are quite lucky. There are many people who visit such places. Some go every year and some others go many times a year. Some are real lovers of nature. To them, nature is their friend, nature is their mother, and nature is everything for them. Let's find some of such people from Kerala. Meet Mr. Hari and Miss Asha. Look at the way they live. I shall show you some more photographs. Observe them closely. What all specialities have you noticed in their house and surroundings?
Let's listen to what our friends say.
Simple life.
There are many trees and plants.
Greenery. Many trees.
Look at their house. Is it a big building? No, it is a simple house. Look at the greenery around. They use solar energy. Read this news clipping. This is also about such a family.
With wooden tree houses and mud houses on the banks of the river Bharatapuzha, this emerging village in Palakkad district seems something out of a dream. Mohan, a sculptor, and his wife Rukmini, the principal of a nursing college, had a dream for leading an organic way of life. They live in simple mud or wooden houses and eat self-cultivated vegetables and pulses. They grow fruit trees, cows, goats, and many more domestic animals.
Now I shall tell you the story of a man who loves nature very much. Look at this man. Have you seen him before? No, perhaps not. He is Mr. Sakuma. Sakuma works as a forest guard with the Mizoram Forest Department. He works in the Damba Tiger Reserve in Mizoram. Yeah, it's a forest where tigers are protected. Sakuma is a self-taught photographer. He is a wildlife photographer too. He has created valuable photographs of Damba's biodiversity. Its plants, animals, birds, insects, and the like of Damba forest. Let's watch some photographs related to Sakuma and the Damba forest. Okay? Today, I shall tell you a story from Sakuma's life. Are you ready to listen to the story? Okay, listen. Let's have a walk in the forest with Sakuma. It's early morning. The sun was just waking up there. Its rays led Damba Tiger Reserve to life. There were plenty of bamboos. They crowded together over the narrow mud paths. The river flowing close by rippled. The tall trees tried to touch the sky. Morning dews dripped down to the forest ground. It made a gentle pitter-patter in the quiet of the dawn. No, it was not quiet in the forest. It was peaceful, definitely peaceful, but not quiet. Forests are not quiet places. Crickets chirped, Great woodpeckers cackled from the treetop. Whoop, whoop, hollow gibbons whooped together. The call of great Indian hornbill echoed through the forest. It was the music of the forest. All the animals and birds got up from their sleep. They are calling together to tell that they are awake. Among these scenes and sounds, Sakuma, the forest god, is hard at work. Sakuma was checking a camera trap. He was a forest guard in the Mizoram Forest Department. He walks around the forest every day to make sure that no one or nothing harms the forest or its animals. The camera traps help him keep a watch of the forest even at night when he is fast asleep in the guard station. Sakuma scrolled the videos on the camera of the previous night. Then he saw the large nose of a barking deer and a hog badger. Sakuma smiled. Everything seems to be normal, nothing wrong, he thought. Sakuma loved photography. It helped him to understand the animal behavior. So, when he walked around, he took photos and videos on his personal camera. Later, he shared these videos and images to the local people of Mizoram and also people who live far, far away. Sakuma had a collection of photographs of rare animals, the grey peacock pheasant and even the tricky clouded leopards. He now knows that the clouded leopard is an expert climber. Sakuma was watching the videos in his camera. Soon he stopped. What's that? Sakuma stared at the video. 3 men were walking into the darkness. Where are they from?
Let's listen to what our friends say. How do you think? Do you have the same idea or do you have any other opinions?
Poachers. They are poachers, I am sure. Sakuma played the video again. Sakuma replaced the camera trap on the tree. He looked around for any clues that the men might have left behind. Where are they from? From the village or from any faraway place? Many tribes live around Dampa. Sometimes they enter the forest to collect wood, to fish, or to hunt animals. Actually, these activities are not allowed in the forest. Sakuma walked swiftly along the river. Soon he stopped. He noticed a trap set by the poachers. A barking deer was trapped. Sakuma's heart began to beat fast. Whenever he sees an animal in pain, it hurts him very much. He cautiously approached the frightened deer. It was not dead, still alive. The animal was tired. It had tried hard to escape. Sakuma quickly got to work. He called the forest department for help. He waited for them and in the meantime tried to calm the deer. Soon the forest gods came and cut the snare carefully without hurting the animal. At last, the animal was free. It bounded away into the forest. Everyone was relieved. The deer is going to be all right, thought Sakuma. But there was still work to be done. The poachers will come back to check the trap. They are to be caught, the gods decided. So, some of the forest gods hid in the woods and waited. As evening came and the light started to dim, they heard the footsteps of poachers approaching. Sakuma identified the 3 men he saw in the video. The poachers approached stealthily with cloth bags to carry the trapped animal. But before they could escape, Sakuma and his team surrounded them. The poachers were taken to the forest camp. At the camp, they were questioned by the authorities. Darkness fell over Damba. Sakuma climbed the steep and hilly area through the trees and bamboos. Sakuma stopped to listen to the creaking sound of the bamboos. It was like they were talking to him. These secrets of nature and the startling beauty inspired Sakuma to protect the forest every day. But it was not easy. At times, he had to fight with the poachers. But for him, this was all a day's work. How he enjoyed the closeness of nature. He often felt at home with his mother nature. He often felt himself as a child on the mother's lap. Sakuma, my dear son, he imagined the woods calling him lovingly. Sakuma belonged to the forest and the forest belonged to him. How is the story? Did you like it? Sakuma is a lover of nature, isn't he? In fact, he is a true son of nature. Now I shall introduce a little boy who loves nature very much. He is a boy of 12 years. He lives with his parents in a hilly area. His house is located on the top of a hill. In front of his house, at a distance, there is a big mountain. A densely forested mountain with so many trees, plants, flowers, fruits, and lush green grass. On the other side of the mountain, there is a river. The boy wished to see the river, but he had never seen it. Do you know why? Between the boy and the river stood a mountain, a very big mountain. The boy was young and the river was small. The thickly forested mountain hid the river. But from the villagers, the boy had heard a lot about the river, of the fish in its waters and of its rocks, of the crystal clear water and its refreshing coolness. He wished to see the river. He wished to touch the water and know it personally. But the river was too far. It was far away. Will the boy be able to go to the river? How will he go? Who will take him to the river? You know, the river is far, far away. See, the boy doesn't know the way to the river. Who will help him? Do you want to know? Yes, it is there in your textbook, page number 9. There is a story, How Far is the River, written by Ruskin Bond. It's a beautiful story. Go through the story. The story part I told you is also there in your textbook, but there can be some changes. Try to identify them. Write the main points of the story in your notebook. Write down the sentences you do not understand. Mark the difficult words also. There is a glossary on page 33. You will get word meanings from there. Ask your doubts to your teacher. Okay? Let's see in the next class. Then I shall tell you more about the story. Okay, thank you.